First, never underestimate the power of inertia. Second, that power can be harnessed. Because we find thinking cognitively effortful, we often take the path of least resistance, making us much more likely to follow a default option or a previously recommended one. This is relatively insignificant until we grasp that this means other people could be designing our behavior without us realizing. Default options are preset options that take effect if we don't make an active choice. Since humans' default action is often inaction or inertia, changing default options can make a difference to outcomes. Our phones being a key part of our daily lives, you could imagine that each of us has downloaded a ringtone that's unique to our personality, right? Amazingly, this couldn't be further from the truth. Instead, it's much more likely that most of us have never bothered to change our ringtone from the original factory setting. This means that our ringtone is probably the same as most of our colleagues, family members, and even strangers. Even though we have the ability to choose any ringtone imaginable, why is it that we generally decide to go with the one picked by the manufacturer? According to various studies, our actions come down to the fact that humans are creatures of comfort and prefer an easy choice instead of exerting the mental energy to make a different one. Whether it's a ringtone or choosing a drink accompanying our meal, many of us routinely decide to stick with the default option. In marketing, this behavior is known as the default bias. The most cited example of the impact of defaults is in the area of organ donation rates. In countries where citizens are automatically opted into organ donation program, most people are organ donors. But in those countries where people are asked to opt in to organ donations, fewer people join. For example, in France, an opt-out country, 99.9% of people are organ donors. In Germany, where people must actively opt in to donate, only 12% of people are organ donors. There are two general conditions under which a change of default is effective. Effort. Inertia is particularly strong if taking action requires effort, as often the case with investment paperwork. Automatic enrollment for retirement saving plans takes advantage of this problem. Unless people opt out, they will be enrolled. Uncertainty. People may be unsure about their own preferences and what is expected of them as when they consider organ donation. It's usually perceived a very personal choice. Our approach signals that the social norm is to donate your organs. So, default changing approaches are effective to drive behavior when making an active choice requires a certain level of effort or involves uncertainty. There are 6 types of defaults to consider when designing your customer experience. Mass defaults. Mass defaults apply to all customers without customizing for individual features or preferences. A common example would be an online checkout process that auto-selects 2 days shipping for every customer. This might be a more expensive option for the customer, but it's pre-selected because the company knows most people won't change it. Benign defaults. Benign defaults are a brand's best guess about what the customer wants. Amazon utilizes default options for certain products by setting up a subscribe and save model as the default. The model offers customers a discount for monthly recurring purchases. Hidden options. In this case, the default is presented as the only choice, even though there are alternatives. These hidden options are available, but often hard to find. Smart defaults. These defaults are based on customer data, either at a personal level or as a part of a customer segment. For example, if you filled out a profile for an investment site and the system knows that you're a 22-year-old who makes $25,000 a year, In this case, they can present you with a different set of default options than a 55-year-old partner in a law firm making six figures. Persistent defaults. Persistent defaults use a customer's past choices to dictate their future defaults. For example, if you always choose a window seat on an airplane, the airline might automatically assign you a window seat for your next flight. Adaptive defaults. Adaptive defaults update themselves in real time, acting as advisors to help people find a perfect set of features. For example, when you're shopping for a car, online users could be asked if they would like a sports, comfort, or economy associated option. As the customer chooses options, the rest of the options change based on the information they're sharing in real time. So, let's sum up. Default options are preset options that take effect if we don't make an active choice. There are 6 types of defaults: mass defaults, benign defaults, hidden options, smart defaults, persistent defaults, and adaptive defaults. The default effect is one of the most powerful principles in behavioral science. We have to be thoughtful about what default choices we include. Set the default options to the path you want users to take. Please don't forget to check out the step-by-step implementation guide for this lecture. Thank you for watching and see you in the next lecture.